Okay, we're recording. Okay, everyone see my screen? Yeah, that's excellent. Right, okay, wonderful. Okay, so I just want to say hello to everybody, and today's webinar is about creating videos using Microsoft PowerPoint for asynchronous learning. So the session overview today, we're going to be mainly looking at the PowerPoint recorder and what that is, how to set it up, and the various media settings within PowerPoint. So we're going to be starting off with how to set up the PowerPoint recorder, how to record on each slide, so how the nitty-gritty of recording. We're going to have a little look at the digital inking option, which is a really interesting tool that will be quite useful for several subjects. We're going to look at how you can add sound and video, and this could be really useful just for adding into your presentations if you've never used sound and video before. We're going to look at screen recording, so very good if you are going through explaining how to do something, computing, etc. We're going to look at how to export the video and where you can embed the video. I've just put together a sort of practical example, so I've just put together what this could look like as a lesson, and we're just going to look at some further links to training. I'm going to be stopping for questions throughout the presentation, but there's only a few of us, so please feel free just to jump off mute. I have my Teams open. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat, but just jump off mute if you've got any questions or you need me to go over anything again. I'm more than happy to do that. So first of all, asynchronous learning. I'm just going to sort of look at this very briefly. This is a term that when we started remote learning, when we started the lockdown, I know that a lot of tutors weren't really sure what asynchronous learning was. It was a term that was kind of mentioned quite a lot, but not really many people knew what it was. Asynchronous learning is basically learning that doesn't happen at the same time. So it basically means that you can set up a learning activity and some activities for the students to complete, and they can complete that learning whenever is convenient to them, so they can access those materials whenever's best for them. And obviously this is usually in an online setting. It's previously been used quite a lot for things like distance learning. So you would set up you would give the students the materials, the lesson materials, they would learn that, and then they would complete the activities, and it wouldn't necessarily be at the same time. So this is why the PowerPoint recorder is very good, because a lot of people do have their lessons on PowerPoint, and therefore to create a video version of that lesson so that learners can access that and view that whenever's convenient is obviously quite important. So what is the PowerPoint recorder? So it basically allows you to create video presentations. So if you have a presentation knocking around, you can create a recording of that presentation using things like VoiceOver. You can put a camera in there, etc. And also it allows you to do things like digital inking, so you can sort of create like a whiteboard effect and you can write on it. So if you're in any kind of subject, like a STEM subject, I mean, this could really go for even it can go across subjects. If you're doing things like childcare and you're looking at annotating diagrams. If you're in health and social care, you're looking at things like anatomy, physiology, sport, anything where you would normally annotate something, or you would need some kind of written text there. You can create this using the PowerPoint recorder. Okay.
So Elaine, Heather, does that allow you then to write on the slide as you're doing the presentation?
Yeah,
Okay.
So and then I'm going to do a demo of that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Exactly right. Yeah. So setting up the recorder. Okay, so in PowerPoint, you have sort of two options here. Now, just before we start, the version that I'm going to be using is the Office 365 desktop app. Now, there's a few different versions of PowerPoint. I would say the main version that we use at the Grimsby Institute is the Office. It's the professional 2016 version. So this is the version I'm going to go through today is what you actually can download from Office 365 if you have your own device and you want to just download Office from 365. I am going to show you it is possible to use the recorder and to record your slideshow using other versions. It just looks slightly differently, and I'm just going to show you what those versions look like. But the main version we're focusing on is the Office 365 version. Okay, so you've got two options. If you go to the slideshow tab, you can actually click on record slideshow, and that's in the setup tab there. So if I just come out of here, you can see, if you see, look here, I've got my slideshow here, and then I've got my setup at the top. Okay. The alternative thing you can do is you can actually set up the recording ribbon. Now, if you've never done this before, you can actually change the settings of what types of tabs that you have at the top. And you can do this in the options. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to File. And if I go down to Options at the bottom, you get this sort of options here. Now you've got a few different things at the bottom there, save, ease of access, etc. If you click on this customize ribbon, this will show you the options that you have at the top. Okay, so if you look at the side here where it says main tabs, these are the things that are clicked, and you do have some that are not clicked, like the draw tool here. So if I just click that there, that will appear at the top, and then the one you want down here is the thing that says recording. So if you click on that, that will actually give you another option with your tabs at the top. So if I just click OK, as you can see, I've got a slideshow here. I've now got one that says, I've actually got a draw option there now. But if I click on recording, I've got all my options for creating my PowerPoint recording in the same space. Okay, so it's basically, I can just go onto this tab here and I can see everything that I need to create my PowerPoint recording. Okay, so as just to check, has anybody got any questions before I move on to the next section? So is everybody okay with knowing how to set up the recorder? Okay, okay, I'll assume that's okay. Just jump off mute if you need to. So when you click on record slideshow, you get this screen here. Okay, so basically you've got a few options in the recording. So you've got the option to record the slide, you've got the option to show the notes, and if you do make a mistake, you can clear the recording. Okay, so once you start recording, you can actually clear that recording if you go wrong. And you can actually clear recording from a single slide, or you can clear it from all the slides. You can set up the device settings. You can obviously go to the next slide once you finish the recording. And then you can select the mic and the camera if you want to have the camera on, so you can get a little picture of yourself in the corner. And you've got the digital inking tools at the bottom. So basically you can select whether you want, to draw on your slides as you're talking through them. And then you've also got the timer, and this is the timer of the presentation as a whole, and also the timer of that individual slide. Okay, so what does this look like? I'm just going to stop sharing and just switch over my screen. Okay, because when I play this, it will just switch to a different screen. Okay. There we go. Oh, it's not the right one. Okay, so this is the recorder. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my record options at the top there. So if I wanted to, I can click record and I can actually talk over my slide, and it will tell me how long I'm taking on that slide. All right, I can select the pen buttons here. Okay, and then I can essentially just draw on those as I'm talking through, and I've got a little video of that in a second. And as you can see, I've got my microphone and my camera here, so I can select my camera, I can turn that on, and I can actually talk to my students, and this might be a little bit more personal than just having a voiceover. Okay, so my camera there, I've got my microphone, and then I've got my settings at the top. Okay, and when you're happy with all of this, you can just click record and you can start talking over your slide and presenting as you normally would. Okay, as you can see, you've got your clear options there, recordings on current slides or clear recordings on all slides. This is really, I think this is quite an essential thing, because if you're recording, like you say, this is 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but if you are recording for 15 minutes and you're talking 15 minutes, if you make a little mistake, you don't really want to just start again. So if you can just clear recording on that particular slide, and then you can start again recording from there. And if you've got any notes, you can show the notes there, so that when you record, you can say what you wanted to say. Okay, so that is the recorder, and then basically you record each slide, you go through each slide. Okay, you add any digital inking, etc. And then when you finish, you just click stop. Okay, and what will happen is that those recordings will be saved. And as you can see, hang on, let's just swap them over here. Okay, as you can see, I've actually got now, this is my voiceover for that particular slide. Okay, right, so let's just look at some of this digital inking then. Oh, hang on, I've just missed something. So yeah, just to let you know that this, obviously I said before, this is the Office 365 version. But if you were to click on this in a slightly different version to PowerPoint, you may get this, okay? So it might just give you the option to start the recording or with the narration or the slide animations, and you can select whether you want to have the animations, and you can select if you want to have those narrations in there. And what will happen is you'll just get this little bar that says recording. Okay, which means that you'll still be able to record your narrations, you'll still be able to record your voiceovers, and potentially she'll be able to do what you can do in the other version. It just looks slightly different. Okay, so this is just a demo of this is just a little demo of the digital inking. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just play you this. Okay, I had to do it I thought it'd be easier to do it as a demo rather than me kind of go through it. It'd just be sort of quicker. Okay, so as you can see, I have my presentation. So I've imagined that I wanted to create a presentation for maths. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added a question in, and I've actually just used the inked to math option on here, and I'm just going to show you that before I move on so you can see what that looks like. So I'm just going to show you creating my slide first. So I'm just creating my slide, and I'm going to go to the draw tool, and I'm going to select my pen. So this is where you may need to you might need to make sure that draw tab is activated in the options like we did at the beginning. Okay, so I've just selected my pen, and I can select my colours and things on there. Okay, and I'm just writing on this slide. So I have a surface, and I have a surface pen, and I'm just writing on the presentation using my surface pen. I'm going to use the lasso tool. And then what I can actually do is I click ink to math, and what it actually does is it recognises what symbols are math symbols, and it actually creates a much clearer question. So if you've got not particularly great handwriting, you can use those tools and it will just make it clearer. So I've gone on to record my slideshow now, and I want to record this. Okay. So I've just selected record. Okay, I'm going to select a pen so I can actually write out this equation. I think I'm going to go for green. Going for green. Yes, there we go. There we go. So, you know, if I was in a lesson and I was writing this out on the board, this is kind of a replication of that. So I'm right. So basically, if I had my microphone on, I would be talking through this as I am writing on this. And you can see it's all live. And you can say you can talk over that and you can stop that. And then once you've finished, you can export that as a video. So you could have like a number of slides like this, where you've got questions and you're basically going through the questions and explaining them at the end. And then if it was an asynchronous lesson, obviously then you could then direct them to a resource, you know, a form or a piece of work that they need to complete. Okay, so that just gives you an idea about what sort of digital linking looks like. Okay. Right, just gonna does that answer your question there, Coralie? I'm just gonna check. Does that answer? Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Right. Just realise we might need some sound for this next bit. Okay, so adding sound and video, you might want to add some sound and video. Now I'm not gonna put this into presentation mode because I just wanted to explain sort of how you would do this. So you've got two options for adding a sound, and if you've got a video, you can add this in as well. Just so that you know, I've tried adding in online videos before, and when I've tried recording with the online video, it doesn't quite work properly. So you just might need to have a little play with that. I found that better just putting the link into and sort of a QR code into the lesson so that students could scan it, go to the video, watch the video, and then obviously come back to that to the lesson. So you've got two options. You can either go to the insert tab, which is at the top here, and you can see where it's got video, it's got audio. So you can either record audio. So if you wanted to just record yourself saying something and just adding that in, and then that to be played at a certain point, you can do that, or you can actually just insert some audio. I actually like to, you know, sometimes, especially if I'm doing training videos, I like to just add some very, very low background music, and actually I just think it's quite calming. Obviously that's completely up to you, but the one thing I would say is that you just need to just there's a few options when it comes to sound, which I'm going to sort of go through, and you can edit sound and you can edit video as well. So like basically it just comes up like this and you can just play it. Okay, hopefully you can hear that. Okay, so if I wanted to have that played throughout, if you notice, I've got this playback option at the top. Okay, and actually what I've selected is this play in background. So when I record my slide, what will happen, well, this will start automatically, and what will happen is that will actually carry on playing as I'm recording. So as I go through the recordings, that will play continuously throughout the slides, which just means you can just get some background music, you know, on your presentation as you're doing it. Okay,
Heather,
and there's
Heather, sorry, quick question. Can you put audio on particular slides just for particular slides?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, so it's like
if you've got question time or something, I'm thinking like for me, if we've got a task, you could have something in the background just to add some competitive atmosphere or something like that in the classroom.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, I mean, you can just basically you just put your sound effect in. You just, and basically if you just got rid of that playing background, you can this thing where it says play across slides basically means it'll play across everything. But if you just
Okay.
undo that, what will happen is that will only play on that particular slide. So when you select play, it'll play. And then it'll, so if you're, say, for example, if you're in a normal presentation, you're just doing this in class, you can just have that as a sound effect, click play, and then obviously that will play, and then you can go to the next slide, it'll stop.
Okay, thank you.
If that makes sense. Yeah, the play,
Yeah.
it's you can just add in normal sound effects or normal narrations on specifics on specific slides. That's not a problem. And you've got a few things here where you've got like the volume options. You can actually trim the audio as well, and you can fade it in and you can fade it out and things. So I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail in a little bit later on. Okay, screen recordings. You can create a screen recording, of your screen. As you can see, that what I did here was a screen recording. I just literally went and I recorded my screen, and you can do that just by going to. You can either go to the same place as before, so you can go to the Insert tab at the top, and you can click on Screen Recording. Okay, and that will bring up some options, and it literally it's very simple, that one. It's just literally like play, stop, and then you've also got that's in the recording as well. Okay, so once you sort of literally, it just brings up a menu. You click record, it'll record everything on your screen. Click stop, and it'll just insert it straight into the presentation, and then you can play that as you wish. Okay, so yeah, just going back to this editing option. So if you have done a screen recording, or you've added in a sound effect or another video, you can actually edit the video, and you can trim the video down. So if I was to click on this video here, I get this playback option at the top, and as you can see, I have these options. Now, a bookmark is basically if you've got a really long video, and for example, you wanted to mark out specific points in that video, you can just add a bookmark. So if I wanted to say I wanted to actually start where this inking starts here, I can click add bookmark here, and what will happen is then when I click on that, that will just go straight to that section. There we go. Trim video is what it says, so you can actually open that up and you can make that shorter, you can make it longer, you can set a start time, end time, etc. Okay, so if you've created that screen recording, you can just kind of trim it up a little bit if you wanted to. I would say that the editing features on this are extremely basic, so that it doesn't do anything. You can't like cut things out and stuff, and you can't like sort of make specific cuts. It just kind of just trims it at the beginning and the end. Okay, again, you've got the same thing as the sound. You've got this fade in and fade out option, volumes. Okay, but you just have slightly different options here, where you've got you play full screen, and you've got the insert, the captions there. I would say with the when it says start in click sequence, you've got start automatically and start when clicked on. I'd just say just be careful with this when you've got things like your animations and things. If you wanted to couple this with animations, just make sure you sort of start it, and then obviously you start adding your animations into the slides. Okay, I'm just gonna check, is everyone with me so far? Everyone with me?
Yeah.
Okay, just shout if you need to ask anything. So yeah, so that's you're adding your sound, your video, screen recordings, and editing your video and your sound. Okay, so when you've finished, you'll need to export your video. So basically you've got two options. Okay, you have this option if you go to the file at the top, and if you click on export, and then if you click on you've got a publish to Microsoft Stream there, which is really handy. But if you just wanted to create a video, you can click on create video, and then these are the options that you have here. So you've got you can select the file size, I would say the bigger the file size, or sort of the more higher quality will be the bigger the file size. So obviously the larger the file, it's going to take longer to export. And just a little heads up, these PowerPoint videos do take a little bit of time to export, especially if they're quite long. So don't panic if it's just kind of going a little bit slowly. They do take a little bit of time. The main thing you want to do is, if you've recorded your PowerPoint presentation, you select the use recordings, timings and narrations. I'll just go to my other PowerPoint because I've done that for that. So if I just go to file and export, so if I wanted to export this, I've got here, yeah, use timings and narrations, and I just click on create video, and that will just create a normal video. Okay. I want to do that. Let's go back there. Okay. Okay. So embedding. Okay, you've got lots of different options for this. You've obviously got, if you're using this recording option, you've got a publish to stream. Okay, so if you wanted to add that to Microsoft Stream, you could do that, and then if you wanted to then share that video, or you can embed that video somewhere else, you can do that. You can add it to you can add it to your VLE. Okay, it depends obviously on your VLE's requirements. I know with Canvas it's very difficult to just add raw footage to Canvas, because it basically means that you have to you don't have a lot of room in your actual course to do that. But you can add that, it's just a video file, so you can add that somewhere, so you embed that into say Stream, or you could sort of embed that into an external application like Planet eStream, if you've got Planet eStream, or if you've got another application that you subscribe to, a video service that you subscribe to, you can do that. And you can embed it into YouTube as well. So it is just a regular video file, and you can just add this into wherever you want your students to view it. Okay. So this is just an example of a lesson that I put together. So this is just to show you a few of how it works. So this is the video. I've just imported this into Stream, and I've just embedded this into this PowerPoint presentation. Deciding to take a little bit of time. I tried this earlier and it was fine. Okay, that's just taking a little bit of time. Has anybody got any questions just before we view this? If not, I have the video file and we can use it, hopefully see the video file. There we go, it's working. Okay.
Hi everybody, today we're going to be looking at
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so this is just a normal video file that I've recorded my PowerPoint presentation. So as you can hopefully hear, I've got my voiceover on my presentation. I've just gone for voiceover to explain what we're doing, and I've tried to sort of replicate what I would normally say in a lesson.
So today's learning objective, we're going to be able to understand Maslow's original 5-stage hierarchy.
So this is just a normal slide that I'm talking over.
Within the hierarchy, the extended hierarchy of needs. So this was the.
Okay, I'm not going to sort of go through all of this.
The additional needs that were added, and also what is self-actualization. Throughout this session, we will be taking part in discussions and other online.
Okay, so the first thing that I decided to do for this, I decided to do a little Flipgrid activity, because obviously Flipgrid can be completed whenever the students have get chance to do this. So I've basically just asked them to go to Flipgrid, and I've created a topic, and they're going to have a discussion, like a starter discussion around the topic that I've selected. Okay, and I've basically just given them the link, and there's also the QR code there, so I'm just giving them the instructions for that. Okay.
And enter the flip code. It's 619F4.
Come on. You're thinking this would have been easier just to pop the lesson normally.
Hi everybody. Today.
Okay, so this is the one I just wanted to
needs
kind of
are
talk about
addressed.
a
And this
little bit
also
more.
includes things like
So-
sleeping, you know, being able to access things like clothing, and also, you know, sort of.
I'm just going to show you this so you can see what it looks like. Okay.
Hi everybody, today we're going to be looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So today's learning objective, we're going to be able to understand Maslow's original 5-stage hierarchy, the types of needs within that hierarchy, the extended hierarchy of needs. So this was the
It's just being a little bit slow. I'm just wanting to get to the thinking section so you can see.
So, you know, if we can't move on as human beings unless these needs are met according to Maslow. The second stage is safety needs. Okay, so this is things like feeling of a comfort, but you can't get.
Okay. We've all seen the digital linking. I'm just going to, I apologise for that. I'm just going to have to move on because this video just seems to be quite good, going quite slow. Okay, but as you can see, essentially, it's just a normal regular video with me talking over it, and obviously then we can go through each slide as you go through it. I've set little activities for them, for the students to do throughout the session, and I've obviously interspersed that with information about sort of information about the subject, as I would do normally in lessons. Obviously you would normally stand up and you would already explain the subject, and then you would set them off on some tasks to complete. Okay, just to check, has anybody got any questions about this? I'll see just before we move on. Nope. Okay, is everyone happy with creating the recording? And that has just been a bit slow, I think, today, but if you wanted to sort of create the video and then exporting the video, is everyone sort of okay with that? I have somebody, I think. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I can't see people.
That's fine.
Oh, right, okay, that's fine.
I think it's putting it into practice, really, isn't it now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll see if I can just at the end, I'll see if I can find the video, so you can just see it raw before, and then I think that'll be easier. Okay, so just before we just to sort of finish this off then. So if you are interested in, if you wanted to look at, obviously we're going to record this video, but obviously if you are interested in learning a little bit more, if you wanted to go to education.microsoft.com, there is actually a course on the Microsoft Educator community all about using PowerPoint Recorder. It's a lot of the things I've talked about today are within the course. So sort of setting up the ribbon and setting up the recorder and talking about digital linking. So if you wanted to have a little look at this, it's a really good course. I'll just bring it up so you can see. Okay, so if you just go to education.microsoft.com, and if you go to courses in the training bar and just search for PowerPoint Recorder, you'll be able to see this, and you can sort of work through that as well. If you wanted to sort of claim some points, if you're looking at being an MIE, or you wanted to just claim some points for your profile, just go to your profile and click on redeem achievement code, and then you can use this achievement code, which is at the bottom here, and I will just on the slide. There we go. If you want to put that code in there, you can claim some points for this session. Okay, so thank you for listening, everybody. I'm just gonna I think I'm just gonna sort of stop the recording now, and then unless anybody's got any questions. Okay, I'm just going to stop the recording. Okay.